Sometimes it is hard to differentiate between the Iron Warriors and the Iron Hands, especially for the Warhammer 40k beginners and the layman, given that even the Primarchs are very similar to each other in terms of specialities and their love for creating weaponry and forging machines of war. Perturabo is the Primarch or the daddy of the Iron Warriors, these space marines who are siegemasters and techno savvy with a love for war machines and artillery. On the other hand, Ferrus Manus is the Primarch of the Iron Hands, who are also space marines that are techno savvy and have a penchant for armored warfare, and leading from the front with big ass tanks and guns. So now let's take a look at the Primarchs in question and compare their upbringing, their roles in the Imperium pre-heresy, their strengths, weaknesses and where they diverge from each other. And then at the end of the video we will compare them side by side to see which one would be better in a one-on-one fight. Let's get to it. Let us begin with their background and upbringing. Like all of the Emperor's Primarchs, Ferrus Manus was jettisoned by a chaos vortex from Terra, and his capsule landed on a strange planet. His gestation capsule crashed on the feral world of Medusa into an ice pinnacle, and the impact was so great that it caused the planet to upheave a bit. He grew up among the Medusa clans, becoming a legendary figure by slaying monsters and enemies. As he matured, he united the warring clans under his rule, being revered as a living god by the Medusans. Under his leadership, the clans delved into frozen depths, battling mutants and ancient machines for control and power. According to Medusan legends, Ferrus faced a great silver worm called Astronaut, a formidable Necron war machine construct, and in the fierce battle he drove the creature into a molten magma center and defeated it, but as it perished, its quick silver skin, the necrodermis, spilled on the Primarch and permanently coated his hands and forearms with a layer that can never be removed, hence his nickname the Gorgon. And with these hands he could forge weapons and handle metallurgy without the need for tools and assistance. Perturabo, on the other hand, landed on a civilized world called Olympia after being scattered across the galaxy by the same chaos vortex during the scattering. He was discovered by a tyrant of the world called Damicus, who ruled with an iron fist. Ironic enough, as a child, Perturabo showed immense and exceptional combat and intellectual capabilities, and hence he was adopted, trained and raised by the tyrant and his honor god. Growing up in the court of Damicus, Perturabo displayed a cold and brooding nature. He never really fully trusted his adopted family and refused to reciprocate affection. Despite his aloof demeanor though, Perturabo learned the arts of siege warfare from Olympia's city-state conflicts, which he perfected in his early years, and put to use to eventually be known as the Hammer of Olympia, with victories and technological advancements that cover the entire planet. There he grew up and kept faith with the tyrant until the arrival of the Emperor. Despite having the ability to overthrow the tyrant at any given time, Perturabo simply didn't want to break oath and turned coat on the man that raised him up, something he surprisingly did later on in the Horus heresy against the Emperor, his true father. Another ironic thing. So what are their roles in the Imperium as Primarchs? Leading the Iron Hands during the 52nd Expeditionary Fleet, Ferrus Manus played a pivotal role in the Great Crusade. The legion under his command vigorously spread the imperial truth, aiming to unite humanity under the Emperor's rule after the tumultuous age of strife. Ferrus Manus was a staunch believer in the imperial truth, which is to the core, an atheistic belief system. As one of the physically strongest Primarchs, Ferrus Manus excelled not only in martial prowess, but also as an artificer of arms and armor. He was not just a commander of armies on the ground, leading the vanguard at times with columns of armored vehicles as the Iron Hands are famous for. He was also a great inventor and a smith, creating many different weapons and being responsible for designing offensive war machines. I think at the very basic level, Ferrus Manus was meant to be the machine of the Emperor. He is the machinist, the creator, and engineer, and since each Primarch is given inherent traits of the Emperor, Ferrus Manus is the representation of strength by removing weaknesses. So going on to Perturabo, during the Great Crusade, after a brief period in the Emperor's company, where he fought alongside the Emperor and absorbed knowledge about the Great Crusade, Perturabo was given command of the Iron Warriors. The transition of authority was swift and absolute, as he immediately took charge of around 35,000 Astartes of the 4th Legion. Finding his sons wanting, he imposed a severe punishment, a trial, which was a trial by decimation, as 1 in 10 legionnaires, determined by lottery, was put to death by their comrades with their bare hands so as to root out any kind of moral weaknesses. This was opposed greatly by Guilliman and the other Primarchs, but the Emperor gave his approval and told them that the 4th Legion was under the absolute rule of Perturabo. So the Iron Warriors became a relentless force of steel and fire known for their brutal efficiency in battle, mastery of armored warfare, and with unparalleled skills as artillerists. Perturabo as a result became the siege master during the Great Crusade, and after it he was meant to focus on technology and industry, and the Iron Warriors were planned to manage the forges and even handle the magi of the Mechanicus, but that never came to be due to the heresy. Now let's take a look at their physical attributes, meaning their size, speed, and fighting abilities. So as Primarchs, they were really tall, around 11 to 12 feet tall. They were designed and created to be faster and stronger than any other human type except for the Emperor himself. If a Space Marine can run 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometers per hour, and a Custodes can double that with a reaction speed in the microsecond levels, these Primarchs could match that or even beat the Custodes by a good margin. So between the different Primarchs in a comparison, both Perturabo and Ferrus Manus are the most gifted in melee combat. They can be easily defeated by the likes of the Lion, Sanguinius, Conrad, Horus, or even Layman Raz, in close quarters fighting. But Ferrus Manus was stated to be one of the physically strongest Primarchs, maybe due to the necrodermis hands, while Perturabo is credited to be one of the smartest and a genius among geniuses. In fights against common opponents, Ferrus Manus was killed by Fulgrim, while Perturabo held his own and even slapped Angron, humbled Fulgrim, and fought Dawn at different occasions, meaning that even though the Lord of Iron was specialized in siege warfare, he was by no means a weakling in mortal combat. Okay, so let's dive into their special armors and weapons. The Primarch of the Iron Hands Legion was a masterful artisan and a wielder of formidable weapons. Among his creations was the Medusan Carapace, his own armor, a testament to his ceaseless pursuit of improvements. This advanced armor, a precursor to the later Space Marine designs like the Cataphracti pattern Terminator armor, incorporated servo mechanisms and an array of sophisticated systems inside of it. Never content with his work, Ferrus Manus constantly experimented with prototype designs, pushing the boundaries of technological innovation, including in his own armor as well. Additionally, he wielded the Forge Breaker, a thunder hammer meticulously crafted by his once close comrade and later a bitter enemy, Fulgrim of the Emperor's Children Legion. Sadly, due to his death at the hands of his own brother Fulgrim, his talent was lost, and the would-be great inventions and innovations and weapons were never created for the Imperium. The Primarch of the Iron Warriors Legion, though, adorned himself in a unique and meticulously crafted suit of artificer-crafted Cataphracti pattern Terminator armor. Whoa, that's a mouthful. This is known as the Logos. This heavily laid ceramide armor, designed by Perturabo himself, not only offered exceptional defense against external threats, but also integrated a sophisticated command and control system. Linked cybernetically to the forces under his command, the Logos allowed Perturabo unparalleled control. The armor featured advanced technology for its time, incorporating a teleport Homer, a Cortex controller for automata, a Nuncio Vox, and a Cognus Signum, which are all Dark Age of Technology level gadgets. Additionally, Perturabo wields a wrist-mounted combi bolter, which is a variation of the Space Marine weapon loaded with a custom bolter round, designed for penetration even to penetrate Space Marine battle plates, causing victims inside of it to combust like human pyres with each detonation. So as you can see, Ferrus Manus and Perturabo have quite a lot in common, and many things that diverge as well. Ferrus Manus was brought up in a more feral environment, a tougher life, in the lands of Medusa, which is tougher than Perturabo, who was privileged and had his life in a civilized Olympia under the patronage of a tyrant king of the world. That is 1 point for Manus. So their roles in the heresy were also alike, yet different in many aspects. Both lead armies that are armed to the teeth with heavy armor and big guns. The only difference is that Ferrus Manus excels in frontal armored assaults, while Perturabo specializes on siege warfare and battles of attrition with big guns and clever planning. Perturabo was seen to be even better in offense and defense than Rogel Dawn was, as was seen later in the heresy, so 1 point for Perturabo here. These two Primarchs both have Artificer Cataphracti Terminator armor, and a set of weapons that can lay low armies when unleashed. That's 1 point for both Primarchs, which puts the score now at 2-2. So now lastly in battle, even though Ferrus Manus was stronger physically due to his necrodermis hands, he was a bit more rash and rageful as opposed to Perturabo, who is more cold and calculating. Hey, if Perty can slap some sense into Fulgrim, the Primarch that killed Manus, that means 1 point for the Lord of Iron, and so with that, we come to a close. Perturabo is the better Primarch. He is the Iron Primarch. So if you like this video, then check this other one as well, and if you want to browse for other Warhammer content, then check out our channel. Subscribe, like for support, and yeah, while you're at it, bang on the bell icon for notifications on new video uploads. Till the next time, take care, boys.